the original speaker, so please bear with me as we climb through whatever this turns out to be. So this discussion, or this talk, is about knowing your self-worth, and I just want to start with a quick question to the audience. Who in the audience has ever worked for free? Raise your hand.
Oh my God.
Thank you. I have as well. But what I want to say is, as we move forward, I would hope that we no longer do work for free. We've done it before when we were younger, and we've learned along the way to understand that we should take pride in our work and pride in our education, and accept that we... Okay, sorry, someone's speaking back. And accept that we should be given given a fair wage, or being paid, or being valued for our work. So, in the end of the day, we should never be working for free. That is a period blank statement. You should never work for free as a freelancer. You put in way too much time, way too much effort, way too much work, too much education to sell yourself short, to work for free. Now, it's not every case that you will get money for your work, but there are other ways to get paid. The idea is bartering. Let's say you can offer teaching a dance class, and someone else can offer making a website for you. Then it's a justifiable means to still get paid, not in a monetary sense, but still get paid for your work. So moving forward, to understand that you deserve this, and you should find ways, if the person cannot pay you for their work, find other ways to make the work transactional. So 4 tips, 4 steps for knowing your self-worth. The first one was don't work for free. Check, done. I'm really just going here, guys. Step 2, understanding your rate. So understanding what you're working for and being able to define what your rate is as an artist, as a freelancer, as a creative person in the industry. Now, that can be an hourly rate, that can be a daily rate, that can be a weekly rate. But to understand what it is you are worth. Normally, you come up with a financial sum. And there's guidelines for this. You can look at legal guidelines. So for artists, there's the CAO, thank you. But then also along the way, you can say, I have a career of 3 years. I have a career of 5 years. I have a career of 20 years. What is my pay then? What do I deserve? So, yeah. Guys, this was really on the train. But to understand that your rate also is not just for the work happening in that moment. Teaching a class, whether it's an acting workshop, dance workshop, a photography workshop, it is not just for those few hours that you work, but it is the preparation work, it is the post work, it is the marketing. You are in charge of so much of your career as a freelancer. You are the CEO, you are the marketing director, the financial director. You run your business, so you have to be paid for running your business. You're not just an artist anymore. You're so much more, and you have to believe that you are more. And respect, and have others respect that you are more. You are this being, this 360 being of a working artist entrepreneur at the end of the day. And you should be paid either financially or through bartering skills accordingly. So I believe that to be very, very important. Step 3, justify your earnings through research. Again, you have platforms such as the CAO, which is a legal document telling you how much you should be paid. But sometimes there's other situations, and you can ask your colleagues. Find people in your industry. Find people who are similar to you and see what their rates are. See what they're getting paid. See what they're getting paid in the Netherlands. See what they're getting paid. Oh, thanks. See what they're getting paid in the Netherlands, and then see what they're getting paid in Germany, in Sweden. See what they're getting paid in other places in the world, because the rate is not going to be the same. If I'm working here in the Netherlands, I get paid that I do in Germany, because there's just another standard. And you have to accept that there are different standards, and research and educate yourself on these standards so that you are able to come forward and say, this is what I deserve. Right? That was... I'm putting it off? Oh, okay, sorry. Lastly, I want to speak briefly on the idea of negotiating. Okay? A lot of people have difficulty with this. With the idea to come forward and say, this is what you offered me, I deserve more. When you're negotiating, a few tips. Stay calm, speak with clarity. Stay calm, speak with clarity, be upfront and honest with what you want and what you believe you deserve. By using these, by having a conversation with these tactics, you are being very professional, and hopefully the person that you are negotiating with can see that this is a respectable transaction. Again, as I said before, understand your rates. Come in with research. Say, this is what these people are getting paid. This is why I should be getting paid equal or more. Why? Why should you be getting paid this? Because I have this many years of professional training, this many years of experience. I have to travel 3 hours longer than the other people do, which makes it instead of a half day, it's a full day for me. So research what... Lost it. Moving on. And trust yourself. Trust that you can have these conversations and be open. The only thing that can happen, not the only thing, one thing that can happen is they can say no. What happens if they say no? You can come to them and say, okay, you've closed this door. What about this? What if we have, you can't pay me this, but what if you pay for some food while I'm on tour? What if you pay for my travel? What if you pay for a massage weekly? Sorry, I'm going through this as a dancer. I'm a dancer, hi. Give yourself options so that you can negotiate around if they're not able to meet you at the sum that you see fit. So give yourself a chance to try different avenues and see what can come from it. They can constantly say no, but then you can also say no. You're a freelancer at the end of the day. You can say no to work if somebody says, hey, I want you to work for exposure. No. I want you to work for 30 euros for a whole day. No. Just as they can say no to your negotiations, you can say no. And then they're negotiating with you. So understand that as a freelancer, you also have the power. You have the power to say yes, to say no, to ask for more, to ask for what you deserve. At the end of the day, you are your business, and you have to believe in your business and fight for your business and let your business grow as you see fit. Now, through all these points, the most important is also stay respectful along the way. You have to have these conversations as a business. You are a transactional... It's a transaction. Yeah, let's do that. That's great, right? Let's open it up to any questions on anything I spoke about.
Yeah, it's actually fun though.
No? No?
I can do it now.
Okay, give it to me.
I'm really starting out as a freelancer. my first project was for a big brand that wanted me to model it, and they first promised me a very big amount of money, and then suddenly they took off more than half.
Okay.
And which put me in a position to fight for it, and I felt very young and very vulnerable. And they knew this, so now I would look differently at it, but I feel that there's a lot of emotional layers on top of it. If the people that I'm negotiating with are seeing me as a business, you talk in a business relationship,
Exactly.
but now I was accused of it was an emotional thing.
Yeah.
And then it's scary to do your next project.
Yeah.
How would you, like you say, okay, stay calm, be respectful, but the next project that I jump into, I had this warning in my head, okay, but if they become angry at me again, or like, how can I kind of separate this emotional thing from
This emotional and
business
this
thing that I
business.
just basically have a right to get paid what I work.
Yeah, I believe that when you go into these talks, by separating the emotion and the business side is super important, and to really just walk in there and say, I am a business, and go with that in your head and keep pushing that, and through these points of saying, okay, research, this is why I should be getting paid more, this is why it's fair, and then they'll realize you're not going in with emotion, you're not attacking this conversation with emotion, that they cannot come at you with any emotion either. It's strictly a business transaction.
If I can add one more thing, sorry.
Sure.
So I just realized something that now if I see anything to do with a big brand, and I see immediately that it's underpaid, I'm like, I won't even talk to them, because I know that this same situation will happen again and again, and at the end of the day, then nothing is going to change.
Right. That is something I also wanted to say, that we as a community have to not accept these positions and not accept work that is underpaid. You know, I'm going to speak about this from a dancer's perspective. We are taught from such a young age that we are expendable, that if you're not going to take the job, there's going to be someone else who does. But you can't have 9 people saying no to a job and that one person says yes, because then it will continue. The cycle never dies. You need 10 people to really stand up and say, no, this is unacceptable. This can't continue. Because until that happens, it doesn't change. You need everybody to really stick together and say, no. Now, there are other options for them. Dance. So a choreographer can say, okay, this is what I have. I can offer 6 dancers this much money. And you say, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing a month's work for 500 euros. You can come back and say, well then they'll say, well this is all the money we have. Okay, why do you need 6 dancers? Cut it to 3. Okay, well we can't get 3, we need the piece for 6. Okay, hire interns. Give them an opportunity or hire students. Give them an opportunity to grow and to learn. If you want to work with professional people in the industry, you have to pay them what they deserve. You can't underpay professionals. I keep turning it off, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Yes.
To go off of your point, I also think it's very important when you have this conversation, whether it be verbal or written, give it back in written form. From what we had from this conversation, we said this. So when this happens again, somebody will change. You can go back, no, you said this. We have it written down. I've had this so many times where it's like, oh no, but we discussed like this. No, we didn't discuss because this is what we discussed and you wrote it down. If you change, whatever you discuss after we had this conversation on this date, we said this and we agreed. If they say no, they will give an email back and then you can go back and forth on that, but it's written, there's proof.
Yeah.
I think this is also very important.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, in my case there was, but
though, to go on from that, I had a different experience because I had this entire discussion only online, because I received the contract and I was like, oh, there's actually, they're saying, but they're not really, I was going to sign away all of my rights, but they were not honest about it. They were not honest about it. It's like, no, you're getting all this stuff. It's like, no, I'm not getting anything. If you're honest with me about it, then at least say that. But then, because I went into the discussion only online, they wouldn't agree to this. They wouldn't, how do you say, they wouldn't, well, they couldn't say that in their writing. Like, oh, no, that's right. You're not getting anything. So then I was just cancelled. And then you know.
Yeah, but then you know they weren't going to respect me and respect what I deserve and who I am as an artist. And at that point, you don't need that in your career, in your life. What were they going to give you? They were going to underpay you and under-respect you. Yes?
If there is a project for free that I would like to participate, because sometimes I'm still participating in some projects for free because I see opportunity for me, like advertisement, that maybe later I will gain more clients, etc. How to protect myself legally that in 1 year or 2 years this job that I did for free will be used for money, like pictures. Like I do this TFP and I do nice makeup, and in 1 year the photographer will sell this to some, I don't know, Vogue, wherever, and I don't get paid for it because it was for free.
So to create a contract, a freelancer's agreement between the two parties, to say this is the work that was done on this day. If anything from this ever goes to a monetary level, both sides should be compensated for what was produced. And
in your terms, in your freelance agreement, discuss what your IP is, your intellectual property, and what your copyrights are. Because actually, as an artist, even if you work for other people, you still, by law, have ownership of your copyright, that they can't change it or make money off of it after. And then they can say you need to license it or you can sell it to people. But in case of photography and makeup and those kind of things, you have to really think about protecting your IP. You can just get someone to look at it and define the terms according to what you want, right? So.
Okay, another question. Sorry, because you are a dancer. What would you consider if people are asking about trial lessons? Because it happens a lot, and of course you cannot create a group already and book the studio and everything when you have these questions for trial lessons and you're practically paying for everything. Or some people already paid, but the other free wants the trial lesson. And you are struggling because you want these free people to join the group to earn later more money if they will decide, but on the other hand, some people already bought the class.
yeah.
So how to...
That is up to choice. I mean, you have to see how the situation leads you forward. For example, I recently, and I really hate that I did this, I did a free class teaching for a company. And the company had promised, okay, yes, like you do your free class, we know you. I even danced in this company 5 years ago. And there was the idea of saying, okay, you do your free class and then we book you. That was their rule. And I did my free class and then I told them, these are my dates that I'm free. Oh, we're booked for the next year. Yeah, and these are people that I knew. And then there are other people who offered me a free class, said I have to do a free class, and I said, I will do one free class if you book me for the rest of the week. If you book me for the rest of the week, that gives me 4 more days of teaching, and I will do that one free class because it gives me that connection, it gives me that exposure. I made that choice and said, this is giving me something, but I have to get something for it too.
Yeah, but I mean about the client, like they want a trial lesson for them. Like they don't want to pay for it. Can I come and check how is your class, and later maybe I will sign in?
No, you can give them a trial lesson price maybe. You can say, okay, you can still come, you can still do a lesson, but we'll give you a little discount because it's a trial, but...
Yeah.
And if you decide to sign up, or you say you have to pay for one class, but if you sign up for the rest of the months, then you get a little discount. So to give yourself the options and say, yes, I will give it to you, but with a little bit of something that's for me, because I need to get something out of this as well. I can't just give you a free pass. I need something in return. I think that's all I have time for. But thank you so much for bearing with me on this. Thank you.